Hi, readers, it's Lori, and I have something very exciting to share with you today. Here's a hint. So I'm so pleased to be able to bring back Mardi Gras Readathon year 2 to my BookTube channel. It was so much fun last year, and I want to continue that fun with all of you and some of the newer subscribers that I have as well. And what's even more exciting to me is that I have a co-host this year, and that is Kat from Kat's Novel Adventures. I met Kat not long ago. I watched her doing some live sprints. I was delighted to find out that she lives in the same part of the US as I do. And all of a sudden one night I thought, well, wouldn't that be fun if Kat and I co-hosted Mardi Gras Readathon #2 together? And she agreed. I was so excited when I got the email, and she said she would love to do that. Now, Kat's channel, I have will link in the description below, and she will also have a video introducing herself and introducing her participation in the Mardi Gras Readathon. So be sure to go over and subscribe to Kat's channel and to get notifications when she has new videos and just play around and explore. She's got some great content already up, and she's also doing a readathon in January, which is around Poe. So watch for that announcement too, because I'm going to participate in that readathon too with her. But she and I have talked about this for a while now. We've been planning and getting things together, and we're just both ready to announce this to you today. So let's start with the dates, prompts, and everything else you need to know to be able to participate. So Mardi Gras, if you don't already know, is also Fat Tuesday, and it is the day before Ash Wednesday. So Mardi Gras dates change each year based on when Ash Wednesday and Easter occur. The premise of Mardi Gras, of course, is that there's a lot of eating and drinking and dancing and having lots of fun, but the goal is to finish that on Fat Tuesday so that on Ash Wednesday you can give up some of those vices that you may have added into your life or created in more excess during the Mardi Gras season. This year's readathon will be from January 13th to February 13th. So we're giving you an entire month to be able to add some of these books that relate to these prompts should you decide to follow the prompts and to have a good time with us. We're going to have some live reading sprints. We're going to have some fun things for you to look at in terms of TBR videos and other things as well. And we have a group read this year, which I'm super excited to tell you about. And we'll have a live show to wrap this up at the end. So we're going to tell you more about all of that in the future. But for today, I wanted to make sure that you knew first and foremost the dates of the readathon, which are January 13th to February 13th. Second of all, you need to know about the prompts. And Kat has created a lovely little bingo board for you that I am going to pop into the description box below. And that will help you to keep track of the prompts. And they are the same as last year with a couple fewer. So you won't have as many to choose from. But again, you'll have a longer period of time. So if you want to do some other readathons or read some other things in your life, you'll be able to do that easily. Okay, also, before I tell you the prompts, remember that you don't have to read a book for each of these prompts. You could read one book. You could read one short story. You could read anything you want during this readathon. You can read a book for all of the prompts. You can read the group read. It's really all up to you. So make this as easy for you as you'd like it to be. Okay? All right, prompt number 1 is to read a book about royalty. This could be a king or a queen. It could even be some other kind of royalty. But you know, Mardi Gras crews have a king and a queen for every one of them. And so we want to make sure that you kind of play along by reading a book about someone who is a king or a queen, or maybe a page. The second prompt is to read a book set on the Gulf Coast, which is where both Kat and I live currently. And this can be anywhere from Texas all the way through Florida. Whatever you consider the Gulf Coast to be, you choose that. And so just read one that has a connection, at least partially, to the Gulf Coast. The third prompt is to read a book about cake. If you remember from last year, or if you're familiar, you know that Mardi Gras always features a king cake, and king cakes are very rich and decadent and sweet. And you don't have to read a book about a king cake. You can read a book about any sort of cake that you want. I may bring one of the books that I had chosen on my TBR last year forward this year for that prompt because I really wanted to read that one and I didn't get to it. The next prompt is to read a book that is set in France. And the reason we have this prompt included is because Mardi Gras was born in France, not in the United States, not on the Gulf Coast, but it was brought forward here because a lot of people from that area migrated to the New Orleans and the Alabama area, actually. So read a book about something that has happened in France. The next prompt is to read a book about a ball or an elegant event. Mardi Gras is also marked by each crew having a special ball. They have a parade as well, and they just have these gorgeous decorations, and the king and the queen are brought forward in this amazing pomp and circumstance. So read something that really gives you that kind of a vibe. The next prompt is to read a book which has some correlation or centering into music because Mardi Gras music is a big piece of it. You've heard that in my intro and my outro for these videos, and you do not have to read a book about that kind of music, but you can if you'd like. I have a specific book in mind for this prompt, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Next prompt, read a book about food because the decadence not only of the cake, but of other kinds of food during Mardi Gras season and at these large events and small events that people host in their yards centers a lot around specific kinds of food. Because we are a seafood eating community, this sometimes centers around crawfish boils, which is a whole nother story. But lots of times people have these big cookouts or these big events in their yards to celebrate Mardi Gras, and we want you to read a book about food and enjoy it. The next prompt is to read a book about a group of friends or a crew, as they're called here in Mardi Gras land, and that can be anything that you desire. It really just has to have some connection to more than one person. And the last prompt is to read a book set in New Orleans. Now, we're going to make this prompt easy for you should you choose to read our group read along with us. And I think I mentioned earlier, we're going to have a live event to kind of end the Mardi Gras Readathon with each of you, and we will talk about this particular book. And I cannot tell you how excited I am about this because Kat and I had been tossing around some titles that we thought about and were thinking might work for the Mardi Gras Readathon group read. And we were trying to make sure they were accessible and that they were, books that we would recommend and that we wanted to read as well. And one day we were texting back and forth, and she said, "What about this particular title," which to me was just serendipity. Okay, so let me tell you why. The book that she suggested is a book called New Orleans Mourning, Mourning. It is a murder mystery that is the first in a series, Skip Langdon's mystery series, that is written by an author named Julie Smith. There are, I think, 11 books in this series, but this again is the first one set in New Orleans. And what's interesting about this is that I actually know Julie Smith. So I had not read this particular series. Julie Smith served on my library foundation board with me when I lived in the other part of the state, not far from where I live now. And she's a lovely, remarkable person, a very prolific author. And she's a winner of an Edgar Allan Poe Award for this particular book series, or at least this particular book. And it is the first in this series. So we thought that that would be fun. The blurbs about this say that it falls between the psychological suspense of Laura Lippman, who I have really enjoyed, and the delicate drama of Tennessee Williams, who I also enjoy. So this was a perfect choice. Now, let me just say this. If you're a Kindle Unlimited member, this book is currently free on Kindle Unlimited. So if you wanted to read it by, with your Kindle, you certainly can do that. You can also purchase it, which I do plan to do to support Julie, and it's easily accessible on Amazon as well for purchase. So this one is set on Mardi Gras, and Chauncey Saint Amand is the king of the crew of Rex. And Chauncey is very, very excited, all dressed up, ready to go and to celebrate Mardi Gras as king of that carnival. And he is murdered, and he's murdered by someone who is wearing a Dolly Parton costume. So there is no awareness of who this person might be. So Skip Langdon, the detective, he's trying to solve this case and to bring the killer to justice. It sounds great to me, and it has a great cover of an area in the French Quarter. So it'll just give you all the Mardi Gras vibes, no matter where you live. So, because Kat and I have experienced multiple years of Mardi Gras along the way, this really does excite us. And we do not plan on going anywhere for Fat Tuesday. So, we will be excited to do the live event to wrap that up and to talk about this group read on that evening. Again, you don't have to read a book for each of these prompts. You can read one book, you can read a storybook, you can read a book to your children or grandchildren, you can read whatever you choose. Double dipping counts. So this particular group read would count for a number of things. It's a book set in New Orleans. It's a book about a crew. It's a book about a lot of different things that would work for this. This one book would fulfill a lot of those prompts, which is really very easy. We want this to be easy and fun for you. We'll be setting up some other surprises along the way, so do stay tuned, and don't forget to go and subscribe to Kat's channel and to maybe click the notification button so you can see when she has new videos coming out as well. And again, she's doing some other readathons along this next couple of months, so you'll be able to join her for those too if you'd like, and I would encourage you to do that. She's a nice, nice person, and I really enjoy her live sprints, and I think you will too. Okay, any other questions you have, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Let me know if you're going to participate. We'll have some posts on Instagram as well as Facebook, I think. And of course, we'll be here with you along the way and sharing our TBRs. And hopefully you're sharing some of yours in the comments below as well. So check out the graphic, the bingo board, and start looking through your shelves, and check out the group read by Julie Smith, New Orleans Morning, Mourning. And as we say here in this season in the South, let the good times roll. And of course, happy reading. Bye.